My mother-in-law hates me because I won't let her raise my son her way. She sneaks him candy, ignores my rules, and cries when I say no, making me the bad guy in front of everyone. I don't even know where to start with this mess, but I guess I'll just lay it all out here because I'm losing my mind and need some outside perspective. I'm a 30-year-old mom with a 1.5-year-old son, and my mother-in-law hates my guts. Like, full-on despises me. And the reason? I won't let her raise my kid her way. That's the big headline. But trust me, there's a ton of smaller drama piling up around it. And I'm at the point where I'm questioning if I'm the one screwing this up. So here's the whole story. Sorry if it's long, but I've been bottling this up for months. Let's back up a bit. I've been married to my husband, Hudson, for 4 years now. He's 32, super chill, the kind of guy who'd rather avoid an argument than deal with it head-on. I love him, don't get me wrong, but sometimes that laid-back vibe drives me up the wall, like when I need him to back me up, and he just shrugs instead. We've got a little boy who's the light of my life, but he's also the spark that's lit this whole dumpster fire with my mother-in-law. Hudson's mom is in her 60s, and she's the type who's used to running the show. She raised Hudson and his younger sister, Charlotte, pretty much single-handedly after their dad walked out when they were kids. She's proud of that, and I get it. Single parenting isn't easy. But the thing is, she's got this iron grip on how she thinks things should be done, especially when it comes to kids. She's old school through and through. Think spare the rod, spoil the child vibes mixed with a little sugar never hurt anybody. Meanwhile, I'm over here Googling pediatric studies and obsessing over milestone charts because I want to do this parenting thing right. You can probably see where this is headed. The tension started pretty much the second my son was born. At first, it was little stuff. She'd come over to help when he was a newborn, uninvited, by the way, and start rearranging my kitchen or telling me I was holding him wrong. I'd bite my tongue because, new mom exhaustion plus trying to keep the peace. But then it got worse. When my son was about 6 months old, she started pushing her ideas harder. Like, she'd sneak him bites of mashed potatoes with gravy when I wasn't looking, even though I'd told her a million times I wasn't starting solids yet. I'd catch her and say something like, "Hey, we're not doing that yet." And she'd scoff and go, "Oh, he's fine. I raised 2 kids, you know." That's her favorite line, by the way. I raised 2 kids. Like it's a trump card that means she's automatically right. Fast forward to now, and it's a full-on war. My son's a toddler, and I've got some firm rules based on what I've read and talked about with his pediatrician. No sugar before 2, limited screen time, no yelling or spanking, just stuff I think makes sense for him. My mother-in-law, though, she thinks I'm starving him, turning him into a wimp, and ruining his childhood. She's called him skinny to my face, even though he's literally in the 60th percentile for weight, perfectly healthy. She's obsessed with giving him candy or cookies every time she sees him, and when I say no, she acts like I've slapped her across the face. One time, she actually said, "You're keeping him from me," like I'm gatekeeping her own grandson because I won't let her shove a Hershey's bar in his mouth. Hudson's stuck in the middle of this, and honestly, he's not helping. He loves his mom. She's basically a saint in his eyes because of everything she did for him growing up. So when I ask him to talk to her, he'll mumble something like, "She doesn't mean it. Babe, just let it go." Let it go? How do I let it go when she's undermining me every chance she gets? I've begged him to set some boundaries, but he hates confrontation so much that he'd rather I just deal with it. It's gotten to where I feel like I'm fighting this battle alone, and it's exhausting. Then there's Charlotte, Hudson's 28-year-old sister. She's single, loud, and has zero filter. She's teen mom all the way and loves stirring the pot. She'll make these snarky comments whenever I'm around, like, "Oh, guess we can't have dessert since the food police are here." She thinks I'm some controlling freak because I won't let my kid eat junk or watch TV all day like she does with her friends' kids. One time, she straight up told me I need to chill out and respect mom's experience, like I'm the bad guy for having my own rules. She's not even a parent, but she acts like she knows more than me because she grew up under her mom's roof. The real blow-up happened over Thanksgiving last year, and I'm still mad about it. We went to my mother-in-law's house. Big mistake, but Hudson insisted because family tradition. I'd brought some pureed veggies for my son since he wasn't on table food yet, and I told everyone ahead of time not to give him anything else. Dinner's going fine, or so I thought. until I look over and see my mother-in-law slipping him a spoonful of mashed potatoes loaded with butter and salt. I mean, he's 1.5. His little kidneys don't need that. I said, please don't do that. I've got his food right here. Trying to keep my cool in front of everybody. She rolled her eyes and went, it's Thanksgiving. Let him live a little. The whole table got quiet, and then Charlotte pipes up with, God, lighten up, it's not going to kill him. I lost it. Not yelling or anything, but I took my son out of his high chair, grabbed his stuff, and told Hudson we were leaving. My mother-in-law started crying. Actual tears, saying I was punishing her for loving her grandson. Hudson tried to smooth things over, but I was done. We drove home in silence, and when we got there, he told me I overreacted and embarrassed him in front of his family. I told him I'm tired of being the villain just for wanting to raise my kid my way, and he just sighed and went to bed. That was 3 months ago, and things have been icy ever since. Here's where it gets messy, eh? My mother-in-law's been telling the whole family I'm keeping my son away from her on purpose. She spun this story where I'm some controlling witch who hates her, and now Hudson's aunts and cousins are texting him asking why I'm so mean. I've barely seen her since Thanksgiving because I can't deal with the drama, but that's only made her double down. She calls Hudson crying about how she never gets to see her grandbaby, and he guilt trips me into inviting her over, even though I know it'll end in a fight. Last week, she came by, and within 10 minutes, she was trying to give my son a sip of her soda. I said no. She huffed and said, you're impossible, and left. Hudson didn't say a word to her, just looked at me like I'm the problem. I've tried talking to him about this a million times. I've told him how disrespected I feel, how it's not just about sugar or screen time. It's about her not seeing me as my son's mom. He gets it for like 5 seconds, but then he's back to she's just trying to help. I'm starting to wonder if he's ever going to take my side, or if I'm stuck dealing with this forever. And Charlotte's no better. She keeps texting me passive-aggressive crap like, Mom's really hurt, you know, as if I'm supposed to apologize for having boundaries. Part of me feels bad, though. My mother-in-law's not evil. She loves my son, I can see that. She's just so stuck in her ways, and I think she feels like I'm rejecting everything she stands for. I've got my own mom, who's chill and respects my rules, so I don't get why Hudson's mom can't do the same. But then I think about how she raised Hudson and Charlotte alone, and maybe she's just clinging to this grandma role because it's all she's got left. I don't know. It's tearing me up because I want my son to have a good relationship with her, but not if it means I'm erased from the picture. There's this other layer, too. Hudson's family has always been tight-knit in a way mine isn't. Growing up, his mom was the boss, and nobody questioned her. Hudson's told me stories about how she'd decide everything, where they went on vacation, what they ate for dinner, even what sports he played. Charlotte's the same way, always bragging about how their mom kept them in line. I'm the first person who's really pushed back, and I think that's why they hate me. Before I came along, nobody told her no. Now I'm the outsider messing up their perfect little system. I keep replaying everything in my head. Like that time my son had a cold, and she showed up with some weird herbal tea she swore would fix him. I told her no thanks. We're sticking with what the doctor said, and she looked at me like I'd accused her of poisoning him. Or the time she bought him a tablet for his first birthday. Cute, right? Except she'd already loaded it with games and told me, he'll love it. Hudson had one at his age. He didn't, by the way. Hudson confirmed that later. I gave it back and said we're not doing screens yet, and she didn't speak to me for a month. I'm so tired of this. I just want to raise my kid without feeling like I'm auditioning for worst daughter-in-law of the year. Hudson keeps saying I need to compromise, but what does that even mean? Let her give him soda? Let her override me whenever she feels like it? I've tried meeting her halfway. I let her take him to the park once, and she brought him back with a sticky face because she couldn't resist getting him ice cream. I can't win. The other day, I was venting to my friend about this on the phone, and she said maybe I should just let it go for Hudson's sake. But I can't shake this feeling that if I give in, it's not just about sugar or TV. It's about my mother-in-law thinking she gets to call the shots forever. And what about my son? I want him to grow up healthy and happy, not caught in some tug-of-war between me and his grandma. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm sitting here typing this while my son naps, wondering if I'm making a mountain out of a molehill or if I'm right to stand my ground. Hudson's at work, probably texting his mom about how stressed he is, and Charlotte's out there somewhere judging me. I saw a post on Reddit once about someone dealing with a pushy in-law, and it made me feel less alone. But now I need to know, what do you think? Am I the one screwing up here? Am I being unreasonable for wanting to be the mom without all this baggage? Update. This is what's happened since then. Hey, everyone. It's been a while, huh? I figured I'd come back with an update because, well, things have shifted a lot in the last 10 months since that whole Thanksgiving mess with my mother-in-law. I wasn't sure if I'd ever feel like talking about this again, but some wild stuff has gone down, and I need to get it off my chest. Plus, there's a new wrinkle in this saga that's got me second-guessing everything all over again. So, buckle up. Here's where we're at now. First off, me. I'm hanging in there, but it's been a rough ride. After that blowout where I walked out of my mother-in-law's house with my son, I was a mess for weeks. I kept replaying it in my head, wondering if I'd gone too far, but also fuming because I still felt so disrespected. Hudson and I fought a lot in the beginning, way more than we ever had before. I tried to explain how alone I felt, and he'd just shut down or say I was making it harder than it needed to be. It got so bad that around Christmas, maybe a month after Thanksgiving, I told him I was done tiptoeing around his mom and his feelings. I said if he couldn't back me up, I wasn't sure I could keep doing this. That hit him hard, I think, because he finally started listening. Hudson's changed a bit since then, but it's been slow. After that Christmas talk, he promised he'd talk to his mom and Charlotte about respecting my rules for our son. He did, sort of. He sat them down and mumbled something about how we're a team and they need to chill. It wasn't exactly a rousing defense, but it was a start. Over the next few months, he got better at stepping in when his mom pushed too far. Like, one time she showed up with a bag of those little powdered donuts for my son, still not even 2 yet, and Hudson actually took them away and said, "Mom, we've talked about this." I nearly fell over. It's not perfect, though. He still hates confrontation, and half the time he'll just give me this tired look like, "Can't you handle it?" But at least he's trying. My mother-in-law, though? She's a different story. For the first couple months after Thanksgiving, she went full silent treatment. No calls, no texts, nothing. Except to Hudson, of course, where she'd guilt-trip him about how I'd banned her from seeing her grandson. I didn't ban her. I just needed a break after she turned a holiday into a battlefield. Anyway, around February, she started coming around again, but it was tense. She'd show up with these forced smiles, acting like nothing happened, and then slip in these little digs. Like, she'd say stuff like, "Oh, he's growing so fast. Too bad I barely get to see him," right in front of me. I'd bite my tongue because Hudson begged me to keep the peace, but it was eating me up inside. Things started to thaw a little by spring, mostly because I caved and invited her to my son's second birthday party in May. I didn't want to, but Hudson kept saying it'd mean a lot to her, and I was tired of being the bad guy. The party was at our place, and I laid down the law beforehand. No sugar, no junk, just the snacks I'd prepped. She showed up with a gift, a cute little toy truck, which I appreciated, but then pulled out a cupcake for later and winked at my son like it was their little secret. I caught it, told her no, and she huffed, but didn't fight me. Progress, I guess. Since then, she's been over a handful of times, and it's been okay. She still tries to sneak him stuff sometimes. Once it was a sip of her iced tea, but Hudson's quicker to shut it down now, so she's backed off a bit. I don't trust her, though. I can tell she's just waiting for me to slip up so she can swoop in. Charlotte's still a thorn in my side. She didn't talk to me for months after Thanksgiving. Fine by me, but she's back to her old tricks now. She'll text Hudson these long rants about how I'm controlling and ruining Mom's happiness, and sometimes he'll show me just to vent. She came to the birthday party too, and spent the whole time making snide comments, like, "Wow, no cake for the kid? Tough crowd." I ignored her, but it stung. She's still her mom's biggest cheerleader, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Hudson says she's just protective of their mom, but I'm over it. She's not even in the picture half the time anymore. She's too busy with her own life, so I don't get why she keeps sticking her nose in mine. My son's doing great, by the way. He's 2 now, talking up a storm, and I'm proud of how he's growing. I've stuck to my guns on the no-sugar thing, and he's thriving, happy, healthy, hitting all his milestones. It's validation for me, honestly, because every time my mother-in-law calls him skinny or Charlotte smirks about my rules, I can point to him and know I'm doing right by him. He's oblivious to all this drama, thank God, but it kills me that his relationships with his grandma and aunt are so tangled up in this mess. So that's the state of things, better than it was, but still a minefield. Hudson and I are stronger now, though we've had to work at it. He's finally seeing how his mom's behavior isn't just helping. It's her way of staying in charge. My mother-in-law's toned it down, but I know she's not happy about it. Charlotte's still a loudmouth, but she's less involved. I thought maybe we'd hit some kind of uneasy truce, until this new problem popped up, and now I'm back to square one. Here's the deal. About a month ago, my mother-in-law started this new thing where she's been calling my son her baby. Like, not just in a cute grandma way. She's saying it all the time, to everyone. She'll call Hudson and go, "How's my baby doing?" Or show up and scoop him up with, "There's my little man, grandma's baby." At first, I brushed it off. Whatever, she's obsessed with him, I get it. But then it got weirder. She started posting these old photos of Hudson as a toddler on Facebook, captioning them stuff like, "My baby then," and "My baby now," with a picture of my son next to it. People started commenting, "Oh, he looks just like Hudson," and she'd reply, "Of course, he's mine." I didn't think much of it until last week, when she came over and said something that made my blood run cold. We were in the kitchen, and she was bouncing my son on her hip while I made coffee. Out of nowhere, she goes, "You know, I should have been the one raising him from the start. He's so much like me and Hudson, it's like he's mine anyway." I froze. Like, what do you even say to that? I laughed it off and said, "Well, he's mine too," but she just smiled. This creepy, smug smile, and kept playing with him. Hudson wasn't home, so I didn't push it, but it's been gnawing at me ever since. Now I'm paranoid. Is she just being dramatic, or does she actually think she's entitled to my kid? It's dredged up all the old feelings from before, how she's never seen me as his real mom, just some obstacle. I told Hudson about it, and he sighed and said, "She's just being extra. You know how she is." But I don't know. I feel like this is her way of digging at me again, 10 months after I thought we'd moved past it. And with Hudson only half on my side, I'm scared she's going to keep pushing until she gets what she wants. What if she starts telling him stuff when he's older, like, "Grandma should have raised you"? It's irrational, maybe, but it's keeping me up at night. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to confront her and shut this down hard, but Hudson's begging me not to start another war. I've fought so hard to keep my place as my son's mom, and now it feels like she's trying to rewrite the narrative. Things were finally calming down. Well, as calm as they get with her, and now this. So yeah, that's the update. Am I overthinking this new "my baby" thing, or am I right to be freaked out? Am I the one messing up here by not letting it go?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our daily updates.